Yolan Chu and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And today in this video I want to talk about silent enemy crews. But before I get into the topic, I just want to say, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. And when you do, also click this little bell and all notifications so you will know when another video comes out. In this video today and the crews, I will talk about the crews that Scopely is suggesting for you to use on the silent enemies. At the moment, unfortunately, we have an event that is quite hard for me to do because if you've seen my video on the temporal artifacts, I cannot deal with the enemies I have to deal with because of the artifact gallery, which is telling me what to do, because I just slipped into a new level range and my ship is not up for it. It's up for everything else, but not for the silent enemies in this level range. And so I need every token for smaller ones to gain the points for the event, and so I cannot experiment a lot. I will later, when these events are over and I can really waste those tokens I get daily, then I will make a lot of experiments with crews, and then I will give you an update on those crews. But today I want to talk about the crews that Scopely is suggesting to use and that are indeed working, because we tried them yesterday when it came out from the point of view when I'm filming this. And the first one is for all of those that don't have Tucker. I hope many more will get Tucker via the Enterprise Coin event now, but many don't have Tucker yet. And so we start with a crew without it. The captain would be Severus. That's what Scopely is suggesting, and his captain maneuver is spreading fire. When the ship is burning from the opponent, Severus decreases the opponent's hull health by 10% each round. You know that the silent enemies are the first hostiles in this game that are causing a state for your ship. No other hostile does that, but they cause burning on your ship. And that's why Severus is a wise choice here, because if your ship is burning, that's meant he decreases the opponent's hull health by 10% each round. And so in 10 rounds, if you're burning and survive that long, then the opponent should be gone, if I calculate that correctly. And his officer ability is exploit overheat, and when the ship is burning from the opponent, Severus increases the damage of the ship by 60%. So he's taking your problem, the burning, and putting it into something positive twice. That's why they say use Severus. And you are supposed to team up Severus with two other officers that I already made videos about, and that is one of them is Decius. He has an officer ability that would work, his captain's ability wouldn't work. That's Honor Guard. That's every time the ship gets hit by a weapon attack, Decius increases its weapons damage by 9%. So plus the weapons damage that Severus is doing, you do more damage with Decius. And another one you're supposed to put on the bridge then is Charvenek. And her officer ability would be Mind Games. That's at the start of combat, Charvenek increases the armor piercing of the ship by 400% of the health of the crew on the ship. So there you got more damage and more armor piercing. And this is the crew that Scopely suggested if you don't have Tucker. But if you have Tucker, it's a new version of PMT. You know, Pike, Moreau, and Tilan was the good old PMT we always used for a lot of things. You know, probably have seen my video about this. Pike will be the captain as usual with his captain's ability or captain maneuver, that he increases the effectiveness of all officer abilities that trigger in combat by 40%. His advanced training is not that important in this regard. But you would use him as captain and then also use Moreau on the ship. And her ability that she decreases the armor piercing, shield piercing, and accuracy of hostiles by 60%. That only works very good in the combination with Pike. That's why she was always part of PMC and is also part of the new PMT. So we're not using Telan, but we would use, in this case, our good new friend, and he is a good friend if you have him already, and that's Trip Tucker. And Trip on the bridge has the ability things blow up. When you take damage from a hostile or another player, Trip Tucker decreases your opponent's critical damage by 50% for 2 rounds. And you know that the silent enemies are doing a lot of critical damage. And this ability is even stacking, so in 1 round you can have even more reduction if it triggers after another. And so Trip is the officer for the use against those silent enemies at the moment, because he is doing something against their critical damage, and they are doing a lot of critical damage, I can tell you. So that's why Trip is not only part of this crew, but also part of another. If you have a strong ship for the level that you have to kill, as I said, I'm not able to kill the level I have to in the artifact gallery because of getting into that range very recently. But if you have a good ship doing that and can concentrate on going for loot, then they suggest to put Tucker on the bridge as well, but combined with other officers. And there I have to do some scrolling again. And then they say use Enterprise E Picard as captain with a captain maneuver that he increases the rewards gained from hostiles and armadas by 100% of base. And that will give you much more loot to exchange in the artifact gallery. And of course, he also has an officer ability, increases the isolated cascade damage by 5% for 3 rounds each time you hit a non-armada hostile. And that's once per weapon. And you are supposed to combine him with Tucker, of course. And that's why I'm not repeating Tucker, but also with Enterprise E Data. And he brings an officer ability to the bridge that increases isolated cascade damage by 15% versus non-armada hostiles as well. And that is a quite helpful ability as well. And he gives synergy to Picard. That's why they probably have Data in this combination. So these are 3 crews that Scopely is suggesting, and all of 3 do work depending on your ship's power, of course, against certain levels. I'm grinding lower level than I'm supposed to for the event, to finish the events at least, but I will not be able to kill the level 51 silent enemies. That will have to wait until I have the Vorcha. When I finally get to level 53 with my Corinar, that's not possible, even with the good crews. But one thing I can add to the 3 crews that I have shown you that Scopely is suggesting, from the experience of the people in my alliance that don't have Tucker, I know that PMC, the standard PMC, also worked for them. Not as good as the Tucker version, but it also worked against silent enemies they had to kill. And as I said in my temporal artifact loop video, if you are lucky and that you are in your level range for a longer time, as I would be if I would still be level 49, would have not proceeded into the 50s before this event came, I would easily be able to do the 46 to 49 I would have to do. And so a lot of people are in that comfortable position. And so if you are in this position but don't have Tucker, you might try PMC as well. And as I said in the beginning, when this event is over, that I need to have to grind so many of them to finish one event, and another event depends on that event again, so that I can spare some of the tokens, then I will make more experiments with Strange New Worlds crews, with the Beverly crew and everything else, and then I will give you an update on this as well. If you have tested some things and could afford to test more despite the event, then please let my viewers know in the comments. It's always appreciated to get more experience in here than just mine. And if you just have questions in general or video requests, you know that I'm regularly reading the comments. And if you just want to say hi and where you're from, you know I'm always happy to know where my active viewers are coming from. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.